Start now.
We are making soya, no, sorry, plantain sauce. We start with some butter in the pan and about an equal amount of oil. Then we cut up a couple of onions and we slice some garlic. Now the onions and garlic are already in the pan and is sweating. I make them sweat so that they become very translucent, and I can actually press them and make them disappear into juice, so to speak. As you can see, these onions are already reasonably translucent, but I will keep on going until they're almost completely gone. This could take a while, as in longer than 20 minutes. Okay, so I've gathered it all up in the center after I stirred it again, gathered it all up in the center so that it can really sweat. Now if this becomes too dry, you want to add a little water, but not yet. I'm letting them sweat quite happily.
So it's a very...
As you can see, it's a very gentle bubble in there in the center. This is on the lowest pip.
So it's the lowest heat you could get on your gas hobs, and then you just put it on the lid and leave it for about 30 minutes and come check on it.
No. You check it every couple of minutes.
Okay.
Because no lid is ever airtight.
Okay.
No matter how good the pan, the lid is never quite airtight. So you check it every few minutes. Use a wooden spoon, because that is far better than a metal spoon.
Why is it better?
Wood finds off bacteria naturally. No matter how old the spoon is, the wood will still work well for it. So, and always use a separate spoon for onions and garlic and things, and sweet things. Because onions and garlic smells and tastes will go into the wood and will come out when you're baking something nice with, like a cake. So your cake will then taste of onions and garlic. Anyway, so here's the pan. It's bubbling away very slowly, as you can see, hopefully. Can you see the little bubbles?
Yeah, I see the bubbles.
Okay. We close the lid, we leave it for 5 minutes or so, and then we stir again.
Okay, we'll come back at that point.
Yeah. You can see that it's beginning to fry rather than sweat. So I am going to...
You say fry, you mean it's starting to go brown? Have a popping noise as opposed to...
That's frying. That's not sweating. Okay, so what I do is I pour in some water. Not too much. You see, the onions started to brown. That's not what I want. It's okay. It's not terrible, but it's not what I want. So I've added a little water. I'm not going to bring it back to the boil, it will do that by itself. Okay? Again, I've stirred it. I'll do it again so you can see. Stir it up, down, in, out, over, under. Then gather it from the edges back to the center. From the edges, because you don't want to lose any of it. Back to the center, and as you can see, the liquid is there. Okay, and now I squash it down again. So it's been stirred, it's had some liquid added, and now we leave it again for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, I had actually put the timer on 30 minutes, which I forgot, which is fine. This mush, onion mush, you can see, is now much mushier. I think I'll give it another 10 minutes, just because I like it. What I often do is then flatten the mush with a potato puree thing. This. Potato masher. Because I like it better, because I don't like bits of onion. Right, I've stirred it again, I'm flattening it again. Pushing on some pieces to see whether they will actually melt, so to speak, and then not yet. So they'll need a little while longer. Let's make sure it's actually boiling a little. Yeah, it is. Yep. So I'm going to put it back on 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes time, I will have another look. Back to the Sunday papers.
Okay.
Okay. That's about 10 minutes, I think. Let's check. Oh, 2 minutes left. Never mind. I'm stirring this again, and as you can see, it's much more mushy now. See?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, let's see if I can flatten it a bit. There you go. Tomato masher.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yep.
This is especially handy for the garlic pieces because I just can't be bothered to cut them into small bits anymore. Of course, that one doesn't want to mash. Never mind. We'll find it in the sauce somewhere. You can feel it squashing under the potato masher. Okay, let's stir it. Yeah, I actually like it even mushier than that, so I think I'll give it another few minutes, but I won't have much more time than that because we will have guests coming soon. So, there you go, I've gathered it all again. I've put it all again in the center, where of course the flame is, because it's on low, the flame will be only in the center. Okay? So I'm closing this again, I'm turning that off. Another few minutes. Okay, we have been sweating these onions and garlics for a while longer. And because our guests are coming soon, I've had to change. Whoops! I normally like to cook. Well, I normally like to cook in either my pajamas or very old clothes before guests come, so I can shower before guests come and not smell of cooking, as I have an incredibly keen sense of smell. And which is very helpful with cooking normally. Okay, now we've got this done. Look, this is really quite a nice mush, as you can see. Mm-hmm. I've also changed the pips of the gas hob because I'm going to do different things now. Okay, now what I'm going to chuck in is some ginger, dried usually. Just a smidgen of nutmeg because it is an Indonesian spice. I normally like to put mace in, but mace is not available in my cupboard at the moment. Okay, this is coriander, which is also a very Indonesian thing to use in cooking. Look. Whoop. Coriander is called ketumbar in Indonesia. Okay, obviously a little pepper. Pepper trees grow also in Indonesia. And cumin. Love cumin. Oh, I always smell on the bottles. I don't know why I forgot to smell on this one, because coriander has a wonderful flowery perfume. Right, some cumin. Okay, as you can see, that's all in there now. I'm going to stir it through. Smells great. Now the tricky bit. I love organic stuff, so I've got organic peanut butter, thick and crunchy and smooth. Okay. I always cook from a loose wrist, so I don't know what exactly I throw in. But this is part of it. I use partly crunch and partly smooth because I like it. And that's how I do my cooking. I get a recipe and then I make it the way I like it. Oh, here is some sambal oelek. And you want a spoonful of that. I don't make it too hot because one member of the family, well, two members of the family don't like it too hot. So I will do about that much first.
Sambal is a spice that they use in Indonesia. It's usually a homemade spice made of chilies and any other ingredients they have to hand. Usually has some kind of, also some shrimp paste in it.
Now that's the trasi one. This is just the sambal oelek. The trasi one has got fish ingredients in it, okay? That's not this one. This is just the peppers and the oil. And if you look in it,
yep,
you can see the pips.
Yeah.
It's literally more stamped fine with a little whatever it is. I think it's oil.
Sure.
And look, it's now in the pan. I'm going to turn up the pan a bit, the fire underneath the pan a bit higher, and I'm going to wait until it bubbles. You can now actually see the sambal oelek bits in it. This is very hot stuff. You honestly do not want to lick the spoon. Okay. When that is bubbling, I will put the peanut butter in. I will also put some salt in it, but not a lot.
So we're waiting for it to bubble now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is basically doing now, as you can see. At this stage, I probably will not use...
Little bubbles.
Yeah. I may not use the wooden spoon. Let me see how it goes. So, today I'm putting 2 big spoonfuls full, it's a bit tricky, of the crunchy and 2 of the non-crunchy to start off with. Now, the funny thing of cooking this is that, use the other spoon, the peanut butter will bubble, and at some stage I'm going to add hot water, but not yet. I'm doing that at the last minute because the hot water is actually going to thicken the sauce.
Thicken it?
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about this dish. Okay, so here is the peanut butter in there. As you can see, it's melting. And I'm going to pour it, stir it. You want a little bit of sugar in there. And literally that's probably enough.
A teaspoon, okay.
You also want, let me just go get it. I'm not going to use it because our guest is allergic.
It's okay, just show us that.
Okay. This is a piece of a lemon, and normally I squeeze it hard and get some in, okay?
It's where you get that lemongrass flavor. In Indonesia, you're using actual lemon.
Yeah. Okay, as you can see, look at this now. Interesting, hey? Right, this is now just about ready. Now there's a couple of ingredients missing. I actually think I'm going to put in a little bit more of the crunchy peanut butter. I like the crunchy better because it's more authentic. Let it melt. Now, what is missing is the ketchup mayonnaise, which literally means it's soya sauce sweet. Mayonnaise means sweet. And as you can see, it says Indonesian sweet soy sauce. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is what we chuck in here once I've melted the peanut butter. Yeah, look, it's becoming quite brown. Can you see that?
Yeah, almost like a
Yeah.
a
And
dark,
you can see
dark
some
color.
onion,
Yep.
but it's not it's not annoying. It's not crunchy.
No.
In other words, okay. So here's the soy sauce. You chuck it in. I've only got a little bit left, but I think it is enough for today. Right. Stir that through. See, today I didn't need the whisk. This is quite happily playing. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm going to put the lid on. I'm not going to finish this sauce because once you put water in, it will actually burn on the pan. You will see the reaction of the sauce when I put water in. And you always put in boiling water because the reaction is violent. It's bubbling like crazy, and cold water could do some nasty things, which is why we use boiling water. Okay, for now this sauce is done. Okay, let's go to. You want to be there?
One sec, let me just.
This can go. Right, we are now at the satay itself. I have made the sauce, the marinade of the satay, using, as you can see red bits. So as you can see, onion, cut small-ish. Here is some garlic.
Yep.
And you can see the
Sambal
sambal.
Olek, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Also, we have used,
Mayonnaise again?
yeah, and sunflower oil.
Cool.
Organic. This you cannot get organic.
Nope.
This you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't think there is
Use
anything
a spoon,
in
big
Indonesia.
spoon, which is in the dishwasher. But you basically use slightly more oil than you use the
Mayonnaise.
ketchup. So what you do is you put in say 3 spoonfuls of oil to 2 of these, okay? And with the onions and the garlic and the sambal ulek and the coriander and the pepper and the ginger and just a tiny bit of nutmeg. Oh yeah, of course, the cumin too, and just some salt. Not too much, because salt will draw out the juices of the, in this case, chicken. I always use either chicken or pork. Chicken is easier to digest for most people, so today it's chicken. Right, so here we are, and I've got the satay sticks here, which you can buy, well, in most shops actually. They're just skewers made of bamboo. You buy a pack of them, looking like this.
And you've dropped them in the water there, see?
Yeah, look, see, skewers.
Yep.
Satay skewers. Any skewers. Yeah, they're going in the water because they soak up water and you turn them over as well. A couple of hours either way. Each way, I mean. Okay, the last bit I used was again on these pointy side. Can you see how wet these sticks are?
Yeah, they're very wet.
Right. This is to stop the meat from sticking on the stick.
So you do the handle end first,
Yes.
and then you do the
No, I do. It doesn't matter, but they have to be wet.
the sticky. Oh, so the pointy end has to be wet when you come to skewer.
Yes.
Okay.
It is the easiest. Okay, but the back will still be wet, and that is because this will not burn then on the barbecue, and the meat goes easier on the skewer, and easier off too when you're eating it. So I put about roughly this much on. You want to evenly divide it. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Evenly divided. Sometimes the pieces are smaller and then you have to put more on. This is slightly bigger, so I put slightly less on. I usually take the sambal bits off, and also obviously the pieces of onion and stuff. I personally don't like that on there.
But that's a matter of taste. Some people might want to stick some onions in between the...
Well, no, never with satay. You don't put onion in between satay.
Okay.
You can do that with skewers. This is not a skewer, this is satay. See? Neat, huh?
Yep.
So. Oops.
Well, we will continue this video once these have all been skewered.
Yeah, and you can help me. Okay. So, as you can see, this is left of the marinade. It's actually sunk completely into the chicken, which is here. I count on 3 sticks per person. Now, as you put the meat onto the skewer, make sure you take off any bits like the onion and the garlic. It's almost impossible to take the sambal off, so you take it off as much as you can. This is because the onion and the garlic will char on the barbecue, and that can become a little bitter. Now, sometimes I use the leftover marinade for another dish, but today I'll probably chuck it away. So what I'll do is I'll now cover this with plastic folie. Because we want to keep the flies out. And again, let me just repeat how you make this, okay? So you do about 3 spoonfuls of sunflower oil and 2 of ketchup mayonnaise. You add to that pepper, powdered ginger, coriander powder, nutmeg, and cumin. To taste, basically, and a little bit of salt, not too much, otherwise you bleed the pieces of chicken. Now, chicken, you need about 1 large chicken breast per person, or 2 small ones. Okay, here's the plastic wrap. I don't like using it, but sometimes you have to. I go either way. I've got a thing against flies, especially on food. If you don't do this, turning over a little bit, you will never find the end again. Okay, so I just fold that around the glass dish. If it comes off. There you go. All safe. Now our guest is going to come in a minute, so I'm going to leave it outside the fridge. But if I have a big party, I will obviously put it in the refrigerator overnight and seal it even more. Okay? Now obviously, if you have more guests, you make more marinade too. So, but this is for about 5 or 6 chicken breasts, what I gave you today, the recipe. And that would be about 5 cloves of garlic and about 2 or 3 medium onions to go in here. Forgot to mention those. So, that's that. Sauce is ready. Chicken is ready. We are ready at the moment. Okay?
The water is boiling.
Monica, can you be quiet, please, for a moment? Okay, so here we are. This is still very hot, and I've added a little bit more peanut butter and some more wine.
The wine doesn't go in the sauce though, right?
No, that doesn't go in the sauce, that goes in the...
No, just checking.
Yeah. This is the motive. Now, this is very tricky, okay? Be careful. I've turned it right down, and I've got the pan lid at the ready, okay? And always like this, not like that, obviously. So like this. Here we go. Now look at that. See that bubbling?
Yes.
Normally it's worse than that. So it's now, but I've turned it down so to stop it from bubbling too hard. Now this looks rather revolting, but as you can see, it's mingling, and you just need that wooden spoon still.
So what
and
you've made.
you very slowly mix this. Yeah, it will happen. Not to rush, not to. If you stir it too hard, you make a jolly good chance of getting some very, very hot stuff on your skin that could leave a nasty mark. So you just very slowly, see how it's thickening? Mm-hmm. Right, so very slowly, very, very slowly.
Could you do this with coconut milk?
I've not tried it.
And
You mean coconut water, don't you?
yeah, coconut
Yeah,
water.
no. I've not tried it, and frankly, I'm not sure if I would. See, watch this. It's really getting together. See?
Mhm.
Slowly. So, kind of fold it around slowly. I can feel it. I can feel it's kind of very close to bubbling away. As you can see, at the moment it's not sticking to the pan bottom. See that?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So you have to keep stirring because it will if you're not careful. Okay? So you can hear that and see that? It's really beginning to bubble.
Can't really hear it, but it's starting to
Look
blow
at
up.
that. You really need all your senses when you're cooking. You need hearing, seeing, smelling. So, it's really, yeah, see, that's done now. This is done now. So, I'm now turning it right down, and this is ready for usage. I might put a little bit more hot water in it later, and you want to keep the sides of the pan clean. Now, if you turn around, Martin, what we have here is the potato salad, and this is just rice with carrots and petit pois, obviously organic, and this is basmati rice, which is very nice. This is the garlic butter that I made. Can you see it? Or?
I can see, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I always have some slices of banana with this, which will show up in the film later, but you want to do that at the last moment because it discolors quickly. Okay, but everything is ready. This is going to be for the bread, and the bread is actually in the oven, happily coloring away, carefully and slowly. When that comes out, it's nice and crispy, and it will go on there, and it will taste great with the sauce and the butter.
Great. So that's how you make a peanut sauce.
So this is how you make a peanut sauce for your Saturday lunch, brunch, Sunday thing with friends.
Thank you.
Lots and lots of this.
Thank you. Very eloquent.
Yeah, I know.